on Instagram. I just posted, if you have any questions about property at all, comment them and I'll do my best to answer. And literally within an hour, I've got loads of people asking questions. So I'm gonna answer some questions right now. However, if you've got a question and you want me to answer your question about property, comment it below. And then what I'll do is I'll read through the comments and then maybe next Sunday, I'll try my best to answer your question as well. So what have we got? The top comment, the first comment that came in immediately was from a guy called V3YSY. Love your Instagram handle. He said, what's the impact Labour will have on the property market? I don't think Labour will have any impact on the property market because I don't think Labour are going to get in. However, I'm really glad that people are scared that Labour will get in because right now with Brexit, with the fear of some of the policies from Jeremy Corbyn and from Labour, everybody's pretty scared. And because everyone's pretty scared, people are holding off to buy. And because everyone's holding off to buy, people that are wanting to sell are struggling, which means I'm coming in and I'm getting below market value deals. But look, man, Labour just aren't going to get in. I'll do you a bet. I'll put money on this, okay? If Labour get in and if Jeremy Corbyn ends up the Prime Minister, you tell me, V3YSY, you can tell me your favourite charity and I'll give £10,000 to charity if Jeremy Corbyn becomes Prime Minister. I just don't think it's going to happen. But I'd be better off, selfishly, telling people, oh my gosh, I think Jeremy Corbyn might get in and I think that it's going to be terrible and everything's going to be bad. I'd be better off doing that because then everyone would be so scared and everyone would stop buying properties and it would mean that I had all the best deals to myself. But that's just not how I do business because I don't think competitively, I think collaboratively. But he ain't gonna get in, man. He really isn't. Sorry, Jeremy, I'm sure you're a nice guy, but you're not gonna get in. You're too much of a socialist and while I understand, some of Labour's policies are great, I just think some of Jeremy Corbyn's extreme views, they just don't work, and I just can't see it. Anyway, that's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Comment below. What are your thoughts? What do you think of Jeremy Corbyn? Who do you think is going to get in? Who's going to be elected next? What's going to happen? But I just put money on. See, I put money on it when I say stuff because I know I'm going to be right. What else we got? Okay. What's the best patch at the moment to find BRRRs? BRRRs, for anyone who doesn't know, is when you buy a house, you then refurbish it, you then refinance it and pull out all your money, and then you rent it out. And the idea is that you buy it, do it up, and pull your money out, leaving it as a no money down deal. Best areas for BRRs at the moment. Listen, I could give you some really good areas where my students are doing these deals. I probably wouldn't want to do that because I want them to get upset with me for exposing their patches. I'll always expose what I'm doing. So I've done a few really beautiful, juicy deals in Darlington, which is quite far up north. I even documented one of the videos. If you want to check it out, maybe I'll leave a little card right here. You can check it out. But Darlington's really good. House prices are very low. There's a lot of motivated sellers there. And it's the reason Darlington's so great, and not just Darlington, there's lots of areas, but it's because builders are really cheap. So you can do a whole refurb on a house for like 5-10 grand and really push and force the values up. So there's a little tip there as well. So, okay, what else we got? How is a HMO managed? Tricks and ideas, says Mazzy88. How's it managed? Hopefully not by me, hopefully not by you, hopefully by a really good management company. The trick is when doing HMOs is location's really important. And just as important as location is finding the right person to manage it. So don't ask a high street management company to manage your HMO. You need to find a HMO specialist. You need to find someone that specializes in managing rooms and renting out HMOs. And how can you find them? What I'd say is go on to spareroom.com or is it .co.uk, but go to Spare Room and then find properties available, rooms available, and you can click agents only on the filter and then see all the agents that are advertising rooms, and those are the agents that you know are currently managing HMOs. Ring them up, have a chat, and if they seem good, that's probably the best trick I can give you. But if you're managing it yourself, biggest thing I can say, don't mix professionals with students, with benefit tenants. Like, just decide what kind of a house share is this going to be? Is this a student house share? Is this a professional house share? Am I doing this as an LHA house share? And keep the tenants the same. Maybe some of my students are doing female only house shares, which works really well. I don't do any, seems to work really well. bit risky, but I guess you might knocking on the head 50% of your market, but then it seems to be working because the ladies don't want to be with the guys. I don't know why, maybe guys are messy. Okay, what's next? When trying to secure your first rent to serviced accommodation, how do you pitch with confidence without references to back you up? Just be honest. Just be really upfront and honest, and don't feel like you're doing something naughty. Don't feel like you're doing something a bit bad. Just what I do is I just ring up agents or ring up landlords from Gumtree and Open Rent, and I'll just say, hey, is the property still available? They'll say yes. I'll ask you a few questions about the property, and then I'll just say, listen, it's actually going to be a corporate let. I'm not going to be living there myself. When would be best to look around? I could do Tuesday or Thursday. So you've put your cards on the table, but you've not made a massive big deal of it. You've not said, so I'm going to be doing this as a corporate let, and what that means is blah, 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 blah. Is that okay? You're not saying that. You're just saying, look, you're just being upfront, but then just assuming that it's okay. Then you're going to go and look around the property. If it makes sense, if the landlord's on side, you're going to do your due diligence and make sure all the checks, everything's all compliant and proper. Then get the property, get that money. Okay, what else? Dan J. Ward. I have £100,000 to invest. I'm educated, but fearful of the first steps. What would you do? Okay, you're not educated, bro. You're just not. If you were educated, you wouldn't be fearful. Knowledge brings confidence. So if you're like, oh, I'm a bit worried, it's just because you haven't got enough knowledge. So what I would say is, you think you're educated, you probably need to be more educated. So I know that to be the case. If I'm afraid of something, if I'm worried about a deal, if I'm like, ooh, about a property deal, it's because I've not done a deal like this before, I don't know what's gonna happen, I haven't got the right knowledge. If I knew exactly what I was doing, I had all the steps mapped in front of me, I wouldn't be worried. If I'm doing a deal where I know exactly what I'm doing, I'm not worried. So you just gotta know what you're doing, get more educated. But ultimately, just feel the fear and do it anyway. Look at the best case, look at the worst case, and then look at the likely case. And if the worst case is you're gonna go bankrupt if it all goes wrong and you're gonna lose everything, and the best case is just, oh yeah, you're gonna have a decent property, then don't do it. But if the worst case is gonna leave you actually not that bad, and the best case is it's gonna be a really profitable deal, it's expected capital appreciation, you're gonna make a good cash flow from it, just look at the best case, worst case, likely case, get more educated, and then make a decision. And advise yourself as if you're advising your best friend. Sometimes it's hard to advise yourself because you're emotional about it, but you just gotta look at the formulas, look at the figures, take your feelings out of it, get educated, and make a decision. Hope that helps. If you had no money, said Scott Reynolds, if you had no money and then you got inheritance of £300,000, how would you invest it? What would you do with 300 grand? With probably not any property experience or anything. £300,000. It's a tough one. What I would do with it is I'd put it into a big deal. And I do a lot of big deals because it takes just as much hard work to do a big deal as it does to do a small deal. But if I was you and you're just starting out, you'll normally mess up on your very first deal. And messing up on a big deal is not smart. So I would probably be like, right, I've got 300 grand. I'm gonna do a little deal to start with. Maybe just take like 10 or 20% of that, like 50 grand, and then do a little small deal. And then when you see the money coming in, it gives you confidence and you make the mistakes you're gonna make on this small deal, then invest a bit more into a bigger deal. I'll probably do something like that. So Scott, hope that helps, and good luck, man, on investing. If you need any help, give us the team a shout. Okay, what else have we got? I'm just gonna do a few more. We've got Yo Ray. How would you approach your very first networking event, and what type of questions would you ask? This is for somebody who knows nothing about real estate but wants to learn. Go along, and maybe don't even speak that much. Maybe go along and listen, and then write down all the questions that you want to ask next time, and then go back next time. What's your education like? What qualifications do you have? My education's not great. I left school at 16 years old and I had GCSEs. I did try quite hard. I got like B's and stuff. I'll probably talk about my education sometime on one of the podcasts. But my education is very average, really. I did go to Bible college for a few years. I got MVQ level 3, I think, in business. I just did that part-time at night school while I was building my property portfolio. But I've never really worried about getting a piece of paper because I've been more concerned with getting the information that I can apply and make money. So, Yeah, I'm not super educated, I'm afraid. Is the BRRR strategy too risky at the moment as a first-time investor, as the post-refurb valuation could be impacted due to Brexit? It'd be a shame to not put all your money out in a BRRR and not be able to remortgage. Okay, what I'd say is it risky? There's always risk. There's always risk associated with it. You can, if you're getting a bridge to let, what you can do is you can get bridging finance and you can get the same company to then give you a buy-to-let mortgage, and when they give you the bridging finance, they'll tell you what the end value will be once you've done a refurb on the property, so you can already have it all lined up. So there are ways you can do it reasonably safe, but what I would say is just make sure that if the end value is low and the valuer downvalues it, you're not going to be screwed. So if you're having to like borrow money from your grandma and say, I promise I'll give it you back, and then you're relying on a high-end value, just watch that. Always look at the worst case. Okay, one last question is, my question is, when will you come to Plymouth or close by to do a talk? Listen, I'll probably never come to Plymouth to do a talk. As much as I love Plymouth, just you come and find me, man. Like, People come to the crash courses all over the world, from Australia, India, America. So I'm in London quite regularly. I sometimes come to Birmingham. Make the drive. That's all I'll say. Make the drive. Don't be like, oh, everything has to be my hometown, you know? Just make the drive. I fly all over the world to go meet people, do business meetings, get mentored. So just make the drive. And if you come, you'll see how awesome it is. Property Investors Crash Course. This is my unashamed plug. I'll leave a link. It's a free program. So free program, 2 days on the house. Why? Because your success is my oxygen, and I love bringing people on my YouTube channel who have been inspired by me, trained by me, now successful in their own right, and it just makes better content for YouTube. And I'm financially free, I've got to do something. So come on down, we'll leave a link in the description, and hope that was helpful. If you've got questions about property, either come on the crash course or comment your questions below. I'll do my best to answer next week. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and smash the like button or the dislike button. I don't care, just do something.